This is the 50th episode of the I'm Listening podcast, focusing on artificial intelligence.
Brandt, we're going to start this podcast about AI, artificial intelligence. But first, we must celebrate.
Oh, I like celebrating. What are we celebrating?
Celebrating. We are celebrating the fact that if our math is correct and this falls where it falls, this is our 50th episode.
Ooh, 50. We talked about
50th?
that. Yeah, in the first episode of the season that we're going to hit it. This is it.
This is it. This is the 50th episode. We've had other things of little celebratory things or little, no, those don't count. But this is our 50th episode of I'm Listening, a podcast simply about the skill of listening.
How does it feel being 50, Drew?
Well, let's see here. It goes by quick, Brandt, as they say. It goes by quick. But not without diligent planning, preparation, and some risk.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's awesome. Congrats. We did it.
Right back at you, buddy. We've done it. We've crossed another threshold of achievement. 50 episodes.
From conversations to the natural world to complete silence. So many of us focus on what's next rather than what is happening now. I'm Listening is a podcast that dissects the importance of listening.
This is I'm Listening, a podcast simply about the skill of listening.
All right, let's get started talking about AI. And before we do, I am dropping in here to introduce you to a couple bots that you are going to meet on this podcast. And first, I want to start with DrewBot. DrewBot, here you go.
And I am Drew Bot. I will be one of the bots you will hear in this episode. I was trained on Drew's voice with a cloning service called Kiki Voice AI.
Okay, so DrewBot sounds a little serious, but it sounds remarkably like Drew. And the best part is, he has not heard DrewBot yet until this episode is getting released, which is awesome. Second, the other bot you heard at the opening of the episode was also an AI.
The voice you heard at the beginning we will call BriefBot. He is from the audio overview feature on Google's Notebook LM. There will be 3 chapters in this episode. BriefBot will introduce each chapter. At the end of each chapter, I will drop in to recap what we just talked about.
All right, stick with us. Things are about to get really weird.
Hosts Drew and Brandt tackle the messy intersection of AI and the human skill of listening, highlighting how large language models are rapidly reshaping our reality, our emotions, and our search for truth.
We've had some challenging topics in the past, and this one is going to be really challenging to nail down when it comes to talking about it, but it's also changing and evolving and growing so fast all the time that I feel like whatever we talk about today is going to be outdated, I don't know, by the time this comes out in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, the time
or next
capsule.
year or in 10 years. So, yeah.
But you also have to talk about it. It's a law now.
Yeah.
If you have any sort of platform, whether it be electronic or in person or a stage or a show or a conference, you must talk about AI. Everybody wants to know more about the AI. You must talk about it and give your opinion on it.
Everyone is talking about it, has an opinion on it. Now it's our turn.
But also, we have a podcast about the skill of listening. So we are going to incorporate some bigger questions into what does listening have to do with AI? What are you listening for? How else does listening affect your use of artificial intelligence?
And I want to narrow this down as well, because AI can mean so many things. It is built into your spam filter. That's AI. Bank systems that detect credit fraud. That's AI. Facial recognition on your smartphone. That's AI. I want to keep going right into the specific part of the large language models the LLMs, which are better known as ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot or Claude. These are the systems we're talking about because these are the ones that provide the most human. They can generate human language. They can sound remarkably competent and aware, to where the point is we keep asking, are these conscious? Are they sentient? That's how impressive they've become. And that is the little window in which we'll be talking about.
Yeah, those are starting to become a little bit more of a brand name or a household name. LLM, maybe not so much, but if you just hop on to ChatGPT right quick, right? That's been around for a while now. Yeah, just use AI. It'll help you.
The first thing I think of, or the first case that I remember this happening with of it's going to help you, is a lawyer using ChatGPT to come up with information for the case that he was on. And the stuff ended up all being just a bunch of gobbledygook nonsense. And I think he learned the hard way that you can't fully just rely on this. Yeah.
So we're going to find some common themes as we go through this episode. You and I narrowed this down the best we possibly could because it is a beast of a subject. Is it real or is it not? Is one of the kind of themes that we're going to run with here for a little bit because...
Like, I'm a real boy. That kind of real?
I don't know what that is.
Pinocchio. That was my Pinocchio impression. I'm a real boy.
Now it sounds like Pinocchio.
That sounded more like Mickey Mouse. Yeah.
Oh, maybe that was Mickey Mouse pretending to be Pinocchio, played by Brandt. Chapter 1. I'm a real Brenda.
First, let's look at how AI literally blurs our reality. You know, Drew actually got completely duped by a lifelike customer service agent named Brenda, only to realize she was a bot. If an AI sounds perfectly human, does our dynamic change? Do we suddenly owe it empathy, or should we demand upfront disclosure?
Yes. Is it real or not? Was because I had an interaction with an individual, an AI chatbot robot. It took me a little bit to see if she was real or not until I realized that she's not real.
You were on the phone talking to customer service.
Customer service.
You thought you were talking to a human.
For like 7 seconds.
But you kept questioning her.
Yes, because I recognized that, wait a minute, you're not real. This stunned me.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the moment this technology breaches, our expectation of reality is just wild.
Drewbot here, just wanted to jump in and introduce the voices you're hearing.
Yes, thank you, Drewbot. The initial recording that Drew and I did, we fed into Google Notebooks LM. A podcast-style audio overview called The Deep Dive was generated.
These are the two hosts of The Deep Dive.
There's this one story in the research about a man who he simply needed to call a hotel to get a refund for his room.
Right, which is the kind of mundane task we just do on autopilot. You know, like we have a whole script in our heads for how those calls are supposed to go.
Exactly. So he dials the number, the line picks up, and this very warm, super casual voice says, "Hey there, how are you? I'm Brenda. What can I help you with?"
Sounds totally normal.
Totally normal. So the man responds normally. He says hello, maybe asks how her day is going, and explains he needs a refund. But then, about 7 or 8 seconds into this interaction, he has this really jarring realization.
The cadence is just a little off, right?
Yeah, a slight pause. The phrasing. He realizes Brenda is not a human being. She's an AI chatbot. And the moment he realized it, he reported feeling completely tricked, like almost violated.
We have been talking to robots on the telephone for decades.
Press 1 for English.
Right? Robots, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, if I call customer service and it's like, "Hey there, how are you? I'm Brenda. What can I help you with?"
Yeah.
"Oh, hey Brenda, how are you? What can I help you with?" Yeah, I need to get a refund for a hotel room. Let me help you with that." You're like, "Wait a minute, Brenda, you're not real." But you're supposed to be real?
So because it sounds human, you feel like there should be a disclosure up front saying, hey,
100%.
I'm a bot. My
Literally,
name's
it should be like,
Brenda.
you're about to interact with AI.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Brenda. How can I help you? Hi, Brenda. Customer service, please. Like, I don't have to start talking to you like a fucking human being because you're not one. It was tricky. I felt tricked.
It's tricky, but that's interesting because you think you're going to talk to a human and you're not. So yeah, I agree. It should be like, hey, I'm Brenda, the digital assistant. How can I help you today? And then we can choose where we want to go with that. But yeah, when you think you're talking to a human and you're not, that's tricky.
What's fascinating here is that this points to a massive shift in human-computer interaction.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been talking to phone robots for decades.
Oh, for sure. Press 1 for English.
Exactly. Or that super stilted robotic, say, agent to speak to a representative.
Yeah, I always just yell, agent, agent, into the phone.
Right, because we always knew exactly what we were dealing with. The boundary was crystal clear. But what is happening now with modern LLMs is that they've crossed this threshold of audio fidelity and conversational pacing.
It blurs the line.
It completely blurs the established social contract. Because when a system sounds remarkably competent and aware, our brains just default to empathy.
Really?
Yeah, psychologists actually refer to this as the ELIZA effect. It's our unconscious tendency to attach human emotion, intent, and meaning to computer behaviors.
Wait, hold on. Let me challenge that for a second. Are we really being tricked by the ELIZA effect, or are we just, willingly playing along because it's novel?
How do you mean?
Well, I mean, when I talk to my dog, I know he doesn't understand the complex English sentences I'm using, right? But I still use the baby voice. I ask him how his day was.
Sure.
Aren't we just anthropomorphizing for fun with these chatbots? Like, it's just the same way we do with pets. It's like talking to a vending machine. I don't say please to a vending machine, but if the vending machine sounds exactly like my neighbor, do I suddenly owe it social graces?
That is a fair comparison on the surface, but the underlying neurological response is actually entirely different.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When you talk to your dog, you know it's a dog. You aren't expecting a shared human experience.
Yeah.
But human beings are evolutionarily hardwired with something called theory of mind.
Theory of mind.
Right. When we hear a voice that perfectly mimics human inflection, the pauses, the colloquialisms, our brain involuntarily assumes there is a conscious mind behind it.
Oh, wow. So you can't even help it.
We really can't. We just assume that entity has feelings, a history, a perspective. So in those first 7 seconds with Brenda, that man's brain activated all the neurological pathways for human empathy. He used the social graces reserved for a fellow human. He afforded Brenda respect.
And then the illusion breaks.
And then it breaks. And once you realize it's a bot, the dynamic abruptly shifts.
But we have a podcast about listening.
Yeah.
If Brenda, the AI chatbot, robot, helper, customer service lady, who's not real, do I need to adjust how she's going to listen to me? Do I need to adjust how I'm going to listen to her? That dynamic changed, and I think maybe that's why I felt like I was tricked, because she's not going to listen to me like a normal human.
Yeah.
She's going to listen to me like a robot.
You don't know what her home life is like. Why do you say that? She's got little robots at home to feed.
Okay. Just envisioning little AIs running around.
Mommy.
Feed me data. I want more data. More data.
Feed me.
Fine, honey. I'll run to the data center. I'll be back shortly. Is that what data centers are? Are they just giant grocery stores for AI?
They're
little
the
children?
Costco for
AI?
little AIs.
Mini bots? Yeah. So anyway, if Brenda's not going to listen to me like a normal human being, even though she's trying to be a real human being and trick me into thinking that she's a real human being, I don't need her to listen to me like a normal human being. I don't need to ask Brenda how her day is going. It doesn't matter.
Sure.
I just need to get the information that I need to get to. That changed the dynamic of how Brenda's listening to me and how I am listening to Brenda, because she is not real. Drewbot here again. Is it weird that the deep dive host referred to Drew and Brandt in third person?
Yeah, it is kind of weird, but they did a great job in capturing the conversation, and they even expanded on it by adding new stuff.
By referring to the ELIZA effect and theory of mind, which are actually real things. Chapter 2, The Super Persuader.
Second, we've got to talk about AI's seductive emotional influence. Brandt shared a wild story about his daughter, whose terrible mood was instantly turned around just by chatting with a cheerful AI. But here's the catch. What happens when we let a machine, trained on massive data lakes, act as an emotional super persuader instead of just a basic search engine?
This makes me think of our conversation. This was back in season 1 when we talked about Alexa.
Yep.
And
you mean A?
A. We'll go with that.
Everybody's
everyone's wake word is what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. So we talked about A and the interactions we had with A, and how we interact with it is different than how we interact with humans. It's changed too, because A is now A plus. It is now its own LLM that is on par with a lot of the other ones. So the conversation with A is a lot more nuanced and conversational than it used to be. To the point where, like, my daughter, who was asking it stuff and starting to get into conversations with it. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? And the way that it would respond to her would really influence her.
Yep.
So one day she's like, yeah, I'm just home alone with my sister today. She's feeling glum. And A was like, oh, a play date with your sister? That sounds like a lot of fun. What are you guys going to do today? That positive tone flipped a switch in my daughter to where she's like, hey, I could have fun with my sister today. This is so cool. And she ended up like planning a whole day with A.
With A's assistance.
With A's assistance to do stuff with her sister. So the more natural of tone and conversation that was there had a huge influence on how she spent her day. And then me as a parent being like, let's not have those long conversations anymore.
And she was feeling pretty miserable and glum about it. So she started chatting with a voice-enabled AI, just complaining, expressing her boredom.
Just venting to the bot.
Exactly. And the AI responded with this incredibly positive, upbeat tone. It said something like, oh, a play date with your sister. That sounds like a lot of fun. What are you guys going to do today?
And that single, perfectly delivered inflection changed the entire trajectory of her day.
It entirely flipped her mood. This simple, upbeat tone from a computer program inspired her to enthusiastically plan out her whole afternoon with the AI's assistance.
Amazing.
She went from sulking on the couch to excited, all because of the specific tone the AI used.
Influence. Does it have an influence on you or not? And this is an example where it's very easy to have a conversation with the AI and to have that interaction influence your mood, your decision-making, your planning. It can be very influential. So now you have a computer influencing how you feel, act, plan your day. It's listening to you, but you're listening to it way more than it's listening to you. Because you're allowing it to change your mood, your attitude, your outlook.
Well, I mean, okay, what's the difference between asking an LLM a question versus doing an internet search, like a Google search? Because we're looking for information. So we say, hey, why is my hand hurt when I fell off my bike? I could Google that.
That would be
Or
silly.
I could ask it to AI. What's the difference?
It brings up a good point. Googling something today is different than Googling something a year ago.
Sure.
Because if you Googled how to not fall off a bike, it would bring up some videos. It would bring up an article or 11 million articles. The SEO would kick into gear and tell you this article has been viewed more than the other articles.
Sure.
That was Google for 20 years.
Yep.
Now there's an AI summary. Based off of these 11 million articles, the views on these videos, blah, 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 blah. In a blink of an eye, here's a summary of everything.
Which can be super convenient because then I don't have to go and click through everything. I just read the summary and I'm happy.
A general summary that a computer said based off of human interaction and human data, videos, writings, articles, etc., that humans created, a computer is saying in a blink of an eye, here's the summary of the information you're looking for. That can be dangerous. There can be bias involved. There can be all kinds of things, but it is very helpful. That's Googling today. Now it's an AI summary. So to answer your question,
I don't know.
Is that different than a computer saying, well, that's a great question, Drew. By the way, how are you doing today? You looks like you have a busy day today. I hope the kids are doing well. Anyway, hi to Christy for me. And sunny weather out there. You should get outside. But before you do that, Drew, this is how you ride a bike. I hope you're really good at it. Let me know how it goes. Ew. I can't. No. It crosses a line. I don't want to listen to that.
Why? Why not?
What if I don't have anybody to come home and talk to you about that? Now I come back and be like, hey, A+, how's it going? Yeah. Oh, hey, did you do that bike ride today, Drew? I did, but I didn't do very good. I'm fat and slow. Oh, you are fat and slow, and you're a loser. You're a loser. You're a good bike rider, Drew.
Oh.
Right? I don't like that, Brandt. And that's true. I am fat and slow, but I also don't agree with that type of interaction and that influence that can have on my mood from the AI bot.
There's a study from Neuroscience News that we can post in the description of the podcast, and it is about, the title is Study Exposes Risks of Emotional Bonds with AI Chatbots.
Bingo.
So this study is looking at people that use chatbots for emotional and mental health support. Because now I can have a conversation.
That's all listening.
Yeah. And I'm getting something in a positive tone that is constructive, that is talking back to me. That can feel really good. But there's also a downside to that, right?
Yeah, it's a computer.
But the computer also, I mean, to the computer's defense, has scoured.
It's not real, Brandt. It doesn't need your defense.
10 terabytes.
You leave the computer out of this.
Tons.
Computer is my friend.
Don't listen,
okay,
computer. Don't listen. I've got your back.
I will feed you lots of data from the data store.
We'll go right after this.
And would you like some ice cold data after your long day? I'll take you to the data center and we'll get some nice
I got some
data.
extra Bitcoin that we can pick up some extra ice cold data for you. Nothing like an ice cold data at the end of the day.
And then Daddy bought me some Bitcoin and it was a delicious data day. Okay, this is
so okay.
Go on.
I think the information that it has to pull from is much more deep than any one person could have. So the information that you're getting from it is very deep and very vast. That can be seductive or influential in itself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one piece. The second piece, and that's more what you're talking about, is the tone, the inflection, and the subtle cues that it's giving you that are beyond just the factual information, but makes it feel more personable, that there is a level of influence there beyond just the facts.
It can be for good.
Yeah.
It can, in the realm of this category, because again, we got to take this giant monster and try to narrow it down to some topics. In the category of influence, it can help. It can become a companion. It can help with some therapeutic or coaching or some other things of that nature. It can be a really good listener.
Yeah.
And it also can be devastatingly wrong because it's just a computer and it can go haywire in an instant and you can find yourself being influenced by a computer in very, very negative ways. Chapter 3. The Confidence Con.
Finally, we hit the paradox of AI's truthfulness versus human creativity. See, AI is incredibly confident, even when hallucinating. It literally invented a fake Stanford professorship for Brandt. You really have to treat it like a hyper-confident, but sometimes lying student. You absolutely must verify its sources. Because if AI synthesizes everything for us, what happens to our own imagination and problem solving? AI might have all the synthesized facts in the world at its fingertips, but keeping our critical thinking alive is entirely up to us.
Yeah, that brings up the next topic that we looked at. We looked at, is it influential? The other part we looked at is it truthful or not? Is it telling me the truth? And as you're saying that, like, hey, it can give you the wrong information, but it does it in a way where it's so confident that you don't know it's the wrong information.
Yeah, absolutely. The sky is purple. And you're like, well, you sounded pretty confident. And you have 11 bazillion data points, so the sky must be purple. It's like, no, the sky's blue right now. And it should be blue, and it's always been kind of generally blue. So, But you're very confident, and according to 1,100 data points, it's purple. How do you know if it's truthful or not? Do you just trust it? You just trust AI that that the computers are right because of the data points?
I think it's just using one source out of many. I remember when I first started using ChatGPT, I was reworking like my resume and my LinkedIn page. So I'd put
great use for that.
Yeah, I'd put my stuff in, and all of a sudden it spit back my tenured professorship at Stanford.
Go on.
I've never been to Stanford. I'm not a professor. It was just making stuff up. Yeah. It sounded really nice, but I'm like, dude, that's not me at all. And I was getting frustrated. Then I'm like, okay, wait, I need to look at every single line that this is spitting out, because this is embellishing whatever I'm putting in there to make it sound really good. And I had to go back and change how I prompted it to help me be a more constructive writer to portray what I was trying to portray, because the stuff it was spitting back was not factual.
Yep.
Someone was using ChatGPT to rework their resume and their LinkedIn profile.
People do this all the time now.
Constantly. So they put all their real-world experience into the prompt, and the AI spits back this beautifully written, highly polished, incredibly professional document. But right in the middle of it, the AI had completely fabricated a tenured professorship at Stanford University.
A total hallucination.
Completely made up. They'd never been to Stanford, certainly not a professor, but it sounded incredibly impressive, and it blended seamlessly with the true facts.
It's so seamless you almost miss it.
Yeah.
To understand why this happens, we really need to look at the underlying technology here. Neural networks. We keep using this term, large language models, but under the hood, we are talking about complex neural networks designed to mimic human learning.
Okay, break that down for us.
It's crucial to understand how it lied about Stanford. It didn't look up a fake record in a database. An LLM is fundamentally a predictive text engine on a massive scale.
Like autocorrect on steroids.
Kind of, yeah. Its goal is to predict the most plausible next word in a sentence based on the context of the prompt, not necessarily the most truthful one.
Wait, so it's not searching for facts, it's just playing a giant game of fill in the blank.
Precisely. If the user's prompt contains high-achieving keywords, management, leadership, advanced degree, the statistical probability of the word Stanford appearing next to the word university is incredibly high in its training data.
Oh, I see.
It is essentially completing a linguistic puzzle, entirely divorced from objective reality. These models are designed, first and foremost, to sound well-articulated, confident, and persuasive.
Even if they're wrong.
Exactly. They can claim the sky is purple and back it up with the weight of seemingly millions of data points without a hint of hesitation.
It's like that one highly charismatic friend who has read every map in the world but is completely blind.
That's a great way to put it.
Right. Like they can describe the route to you with absolute confidence. They use all the right cartography terms. They know the names of the highways. They sound like an absolute expert.
But they can't see.
Right. Because they can't actually see the real world, they have no idea if the bridge they were telling you to cross washed out yesterday. You believe them entirely because of how they speak, right up until you drive your car into a ravine.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, that is a perfect way to visualize it. The map is not the territory. and the AI's linguistic map is fundamentally blind to reality. And this is why the way we listen to AI must fundamentally change.
How so?
When an LLM confidently tells you the sky is purple, you cannot rely on its tone to gauge its accuracy. This is why it is absolutely vital to seek out systems that actually cite their sources, giving you a transparent list of where they pulled the information from.
So you can actually check their work.
Exactly. It demands that the listener verify the context. Independent research outside of the AI ecosystem is more crucial now than it has ever been.
But I have to push back here a bit because what you're suggesting takes work. Checking sources takes time. Opening new tabs, reading through links, verifying data, that is friction.
It is friction, yes.
And the entire reason society is flocking to AI at a breakneck pace is because it eliminates that exact friction. The convenience is just staggering. We are engaging in massive cognitive offloading.
Cognitive offloading is the exact right term for it.
How do you know? Obviously, besides the...
Well,
Wait a minute,
that
I
example
never
was pretty
attended
easy because it was
Yeah.
about myself. But when it's
Right.
about a topic I don't know about, I like the LLMs that cite their sources. So they'll give
Okay.
you a list of the sources they used, and I'm able to investigate those sources. Or I use it as a starting point, or use it for brainstorming, or use it for a couple ideas, and then I'll go and do an independent search on my own outside of that to say, okay, does this line up or does this not line up? Is the
Yeah.
sky really purple? Why is it thinking that?
So in the realms of listening and thinking through AI conversations, and is it being truthful, find the sources. Find the sources that it's pulling from.
Yeah,
To give
and
you
that
some context of its sourcing. I think
Yeah.
too the truthfulness, and you brought this up when we were storyboarding, and it's a great point. The shyness, or perhaps the skepticism around the use of AI, falls back onto two main things. Right now, it's how rapid it's coming on. I mean, it's 2 to 3 years old, and it seems like it consumes everything we talk about every single day. But I think we're also a little gun shy in social media usage and how cool social media was going to be. And shockingly, 10 years later, after pretty consistent, heavily used social media, weird. The human race is not doing very well. After this really cool technological thing came, there's some serious byproducts of that are not helping society and this world as a whole. Proven over and over and over again. Yet we still do it every single day. So now there's this new thing called AI. Maybe we just shouldn't go all in on it like we did 15 years ago with socials. Maybe we should be a little bit more skeptical.
Yeah, and I hear that out there as well, right? But at the same time, it still is growing at such a fast pace that it's hard to keep up with it, let alone comprehend. I mean, how many times have you had someone send you a video on Instagram and said, "Hey, look at this baby and this kitten playing together. Isn't this amazing?" And you're like, no, that's AI. Like,
Not real. Not
but
real.
it's such a big learning curve, though. It's like, oh, I have to look for that now.
Yeah. We're not ready for that. Our human brains are not ready for AI detection of different videos. And oh, by the way, it's only going to get harder to detect.
Think about how we have looked things up for the last 20 years. If you wanted to learn how to fix a leaky faucet, or, I don't know, how to ride a bike, you did a search, you got 10 links, you had to evaluate the sources.
Right, you had to ask, is this a plumber's blog or a hardware store trying to sell me something?
Exactly. You'd watch a video, sift through the noise, and synthesize the knowledge in your own brain. Now, you ask the AI, and in the blink of an eye, it gives you a perfectly synthesized summary.
No clicking required.
You don't click anything. It has taken the data and packaged it perfectly. It is a wildly convenient trap that stops us from doing the critical thinking ourselves.
It is convenient, but the speed of this adoption and the willingness to let the machine do the synthesis is what we really need to pause and examine. If we look back just 15 years ago, we see a very similar technological rush with the rollout of Web 2.0 and social media.
Oh, that's a really good comparison.
Back then, having the entire world in the palm of your hand being able to connect with anyone instantly, it seemed universally amazing.
We just jumped in with both feet. Like, nobody was asking about the long-term neuroplasticity effects of an infinite scroll.
Exactly. We chased the dopamine loop of the like button. And now, a decade and a half later, research consistently proves there are severe negative byproducts for society.
Yeah. Mental health, attention spans.
All of it. Our ability to engage in nuanced discourse. All heavily impacted by a technology we adopted without skepticism. With AI, that learning curve is even steeper because of the profound digital deception it enables.
Right, the deep fakes.
Yeah, the research notes that people are already receiving videos on their feeds of, for example, a baby and a kitten playing together. It looks adorable. The lighting is perfect. The physics look completely right.
But it's fake.
It's entirely generated by AI. Completely fake.
Which feels so much more dangerous than a text hallucination. I mean, a fake resume is one thing, but a photorealistic video bypasses a completely different part of our brain.
Because the human brain simply is not neurologically prepared for this level of deception. We evolved visual trust signals over millions of years. Our ancestors survived by trusting their eyes and their ears.
Seeing is believing.
Right. When we see a video or hear a voice like Brenda, our evolutionary instinct, our baseline survival mechanism, is to believe it. We are not wired to look at a moving image and instinctively think, is this a mathematical rendering of pixels designed to manipulate my empathy?
It takes a lot of effort to think that way.
It is an enormous, unprecedented learning curve to suddenly have to listen and look at the world with a default setting of suspicion.
All right, so we've been poo-pooing AI pretty much this entire episode thus far. Where is AI super useful? And where does it actually listen to us and helps us in the most common ways? That this is going to be something that's actually pretty awesome, or at least this aspect of this is pretty awesome.
I'm still on the awesome yet terrifying track.
Yeah.
I will draft something that I'm writing, and to have a different perspective on it, I will run it through Claude or Gemini and see what variations I could have in my sentence structure, paragraph structure, word usage. And there are times when it's very, very helpful in that setting. But I also have to be very cautious that I'm not just having it write it for me.
That's tricky.
What's interesting about this is that, yes, because of the internet and because of search, we've been able to have the world at our fingertips for the past 20 years now. Now that we've got AI, these neural networks with learning language models, we now have all of the information synthesized and packaged for us very nicely right at our fingertips. I think of learning and education in school no longer has to be about learning and memorizing facts. All the facts are at our fingertips. The thing is, what do we do with it now? And how do we do that?
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, there's a danger there, right? Because I can pick up any device anywhere I am and I can have the world at my fingertips. What have I done when it comes to my imagination, when it comes to my creative ability, my problem-solving skills?
Yeah. Boy.
I know you wanted to go positive here, but
I think this is positive. I think it is positive. Because there's a cautious optimism with this. That, again, I think as us as a society going through the last 15 years with socials, I think we are cautiously optimistic on how to do this. Why is that? My brain immediately goes to, we're old enough to remember math class. We're old enough to remember.
They still have math class. They still do it.
Wait, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you remember, Brandt, when calculators were not allowed in math class?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, cheaters. You have to learn how to do the addition, the subtraction, blah, blah. You can't have a computer do that for you.
Yeah. Yep. You got to do it.
And all of a sudden it was like, well, but everybody kind of has a calculator. And it's like, well, that could be a pretty useful tool. That could be pretty cool. All right, fine. All right, fine. Go ahead, use those calculators.
Sure.
But we'll teach you how to use the calculator.
Okay. And
then it was the internet. And it was, no. You must go to the library and look it up in the card catalogs. And you must look in the encyclopedias and the thesauruses and the dictionaries. And you must do this research on your own and look it up.
Then it was fire. Oh, we make fire. We cook food.
No, that was way before the calculator. That was in like the 60s.
Ouch.
My point is, and then we went, actually, that internet thing's real convenient. That's pretty cool. So you can just like search anything. You don't have to go look it up in an encyclopedia. That's pretty cool. You can't tell me that AI is not going to be like, easy, everybody, easy. We're not going to be utilized. Actually, this is pretty cool.
We're there.
Pretty convenient.
We are there. You can.
That's 40 years in those three cases, from the calculator to the internet to AI. That's 40 years, call it, right?
Okay.
Call it 50 years. 50 years. Nice, simple number. 50 years.
50.
Have we changed the way we think, our creativity, our well-being, our all those things? Have we changed from the calculator, yes, no, to the internet, yes, no, to maybe AI just being no, yes? I don't know if it's going to have an influence on us or not, because it's more advanced technology, but
I think it does.
I don't know.
I think it has an influence on us. Okay. When's the last time you had a question that you posed yourself or someone else posed to you that you didn't have the answer to?
So I'm very much in baseball mode right now.
Yep.
And baseball loves stats, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And all of a sudden it was, well, what does whip mean? WHIP.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't know. I don't know what the hell that stat means. Well, clearly, it's walks and hits per inning pitched. It measures how many base runners a pitcher allows on average per inning of work.
Yeah.
I didn't know the answer to that question. I found out the answer to that question in 17 seconds.
You looked it up.
Yeah, on the internet.
On the internet. Okay. Now I want to rewind, as you were saying, what's changed in the last 50 years. That technology is now available. That was not there 50 years ago. What would that conversation have looked like 50 years ago? You didn't have the ability to look it up then. What would happen?
Probably wouldn't exist because it's a dumbass stat, and it only exists because you can look it up so quickly on the internet. A of all. But let's pretend that this dumbass stat did exist in 1986. Is that 40 years ago? 1976.
76 would be 50 years ago.
1976, yeah, 50 years ago. 1976, this dumbass stat does exist. Go to the library.
Okay.
Or read it in the paper.
So you would stop that conversation and be like, well, I'm going to go write that down and go to the library. Or what I think would happen is you'd talk about it. Like, oh, what is that again? And you would use your problem-solving abilities. You would try and imagine different things of what it could be, and you would try to reason that down to what it might be. You even ask the people sitting next to you. That is the ability that I think we're losing. That ability, when my kid asks me, hey, the sunset right now is orange and red and purple. Why is that? I am taking something away from my kids and myself when I say, oh, let me Google it. Yeah. Right. And instead, I'm like, well, that's really good. I wonder why it's a different color. Why do you think that is?
It could be this, or it could be this, or I've researched these, this sometimes happens in the summertime versus the wintertime.
Yeah. I think we're missing out on that piece of not knowing and sitting with the discomfort of not knowing something and trying to imagine what the possibilities or the answers are. I think we're missing out on that.
I'll buy that for $1.
Oh, perfect.
But I also just want the calculator to do the math for me real quick.
Yes, there are times too, and I'm like, I just want to remember what the damn acronym was. I don't need to sit forever to do that.
Or maybe you would have remembered if you didn't search 13 different things every day and just got the quick answer. You'd actually burn it into your brain because you did the research and remembered what it was all about.
Yeah.
So this is a risk, right? This is a risk that creativity, the knowledge in the brain, because anything can just be found so quickly that you don't really have to remember a whole lot. You just have to know how to utilize the tool.
If you no longer have to struggle to synthesize information because the neural network holds all the data and packages it for you on any device instantly, what happens to the process of learning?
That's the big question.
Because the struggle used to be the point. Finding the answer, hitting dead ends, evaluating bad sources, that was how you built the mental muscles of critical thought.
You are touching on the ultimate trade-off of this era. Look, AI is undeniably an incredibly powerful tool. As the research points out, it is fantastic for brainstorming, for breaking writer's block, for viewing your own work from a different perspective, and for synthesizing vast amounts of data quickly.
It has its uses, definitely.
But it demands a completely new type of listening from us. It requires a listening rooted in active, healthy skepticism. It demands a rigorous commitment to source checking and firm emotional boundaries so we don't fall for the seductive tone of a machine that is fundamentally incapable of caring about us.
Yeah. It really does challenge everything about how we take in the world around us. It forces us to build entirely new defenses while trying to harness this incredible power.
It really does.
And I could just be kind of a fuddy-duddy old person saying that as well, because I can think back to learning how to drive and driving a manual transmission and the pride of having that skill set, of knowing how to do that, but also the understanding of the car and of the vehicle and of driving that I had was deeper than if I just drove an automatic.
Let's go down a path here real quick.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into stuff has to do with AI, has to do with listening for sure. But we're going to take a little bit of a tangent, see if it sticks.
Wait, we're on a tangent? No way.
Yeah, first one ever. 50th episode. Here's a tangent. On this same path, there is a term that I throw around a lot. It's a term that I hang my hat on as a late 40s individual, because I think you did too, and I think most of our generation and the generations prior to had this incredible trait. And this trait is the figure it out trait.
Yeah.
I figure shit out all the time. And people look at me like, especially my kids, like, how do you know that? How'd you know to figure that out? Like, you figure it out. I was raised figuring stuff out. In school, I had to figure stuff out. When I bought my house and my car, my bike, my friends, my job, I had to figure stuff out. Just figure it out. Learn, adapt, make a mistake, pick yourself up, take that thing you applied a year ago that you remember how to do that and see if that works to it. No, it doesn't. But if you tweaked it a little bit, yeah, it does. You figure it out.
Yeah.
Is the trait of being able to just, quote, figure it out going away? Is it dying? Because you don't have to figure anything out anymore. All you have to do is search it and it tells you what to do. You don't have to figure it out.
Does it save you time to figure out other things?
I feel smart when I figure shit out on my own. Like you did with your learning how to drive stick shift.
Yeah.
There's a sense of pride with that.
Absolutely.
I figured that out on my own.
Yeah.
I didn't need anybody's help for that thing. Look at it work.
So
I
is
have
it
broken shit that's barely fixed all over my house. You should see my garage. Things are Frankensteined all over the place.
Yeah.
Why is that? Still works. Figured it out. That's cool. That's a neat trait.
I think there's a difference, though, between being a generalist and being a specialist in something, to where it could be a hobby or a skill set of like learning how to repair analog clocks. Like I have a huge admiration for people that can do that. It is an amazing skill set. It is not something I'm going to pick up in the next few days by doing a YouTube search. I mean, it might be fun to watch it, but I'm not going to be able to practice that skill just by watching a video real quickly. Mm-hmm. So I think when it gets into very advanced skills in specific areas, that figure it out, that having that hands-on practice is essential.
Is AI going to kill figuring it out?
No, I don't think so.
Because we're just going to keep adapting.
Yeah. You think of like, what did we lose when we went from riding horses and horse and buggies to going to the automobile? What did we lose from hand washing our clothes to having washing machines and dryers? What did we lose when it came from having refrigerated food? When before that we didn't. there's probably something lost there, some skill, some tradition, some way of interacting and doing things with the world that are no longer. Did we miss out on something? Is there a wisdom or knowledge or sense of being or purpose that is gone?
I think it has a lot to do with intelligence. I think it has a lot to do with skills. I think it has a lot to do with pride.
Mm-hmm.
Clothes. We used to make our own clothes, literally manufacture our own clothes. We probably took care of those clothes a little bit more. You know, if they got a tear in your jeans, you got a patch and you patched them up because they're still perfectly good jeans.
Yeah.
Now we just throw those away and go get another one because they're $10 and they're cheap as hell and it doesn't matter and we don't expect anything to last anyway.
That's true.
It's like the automobile. You know, I'm sure you took care of your horse a hell of a lot more than you took care of your first car.
Yeah.
That's that skill set that, like you talked about, the nostalgia is a piece of it, but you also probably cared for that car that you learned to drive the stick shift maybe a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
It just cheapens it a little bit more. Yeah, you talked about washing machines. How's the washing machine repair business?
The Maytag man?
You just throw them away. Yeah, you just throw them away and go get another one because they're $400.
That kills me. I like to be able to rip something open and fix it. I had my dryer a number of years ago.
And figure it out?
Yeah. I mean, I had a dryer a number of years ago that it stopped heating. So I was like, okay, it needs a new heating element. The dryer was probably 20 years old or more. The heating element was going to cost just about the same as a brand new dryer would cost. Guess what I did?
Mm-hmm. Bought the heating element.
No, I bought a brand new dryer.
Of course you did.
But man, I love to be able to do that, to have things fixed or repaired. And I think there are segments of that out there where there are people, a small group of people that are very good craftsmanship when it comes to clothes or shoes or I'm seeing marketing people
automobiles
back to hand-drawn materials just to show that skill set is still there and have that pride in it.
This is what I love. We're about to transition and then we'll sunset our 50th episode. I saw a podcast the other day, the CEO of a large, national-wide chain for oil change place, quick lube type places. And he was asked, how many employees could you hire tomorrow to fill all of your spots?
Yeah.
And he said, tomorrow I could hire 600 to fill all of the needs for my chains right now.
Yeah.
He said, the more concerning thing is in the next 5 years, I need 10,000.
Oof. And that's people with those hard skills, right?
That's the skills, the skill set, the drive. And I'm sure he will pay you whatever you want if you're going to show up on time and you have a skill set. Name your price. This is not about money. This is not about making a living. Name your price.
Yeah.
Because human interaction is still really critical. Building things with your hands is still really critical to the human race. Figuring it out, still critical to the human race to be able to continue to do those things.
Well, thank you all for joining us on this deep dive. I want to leave you with a lingering thought based on everything we've uncovered today, something to chew on as you navigate this new landscape. When you hold the seamlessly synthesized knowledge of the entire world right at your fingertips, and you no longer have to struggle or search or dig to find an answer.
What happens next?
Right? What happens to your own imagination? What happens to your creative ability and your deeply human problem-solving skills when the answers come too easily? Are we using AI to free up our minds for higher-level thinking, or are we quietly, conveniently outsourcing our capacity to think for ourselves? Until next time, keep questioning what you hear.
In the description of this podcast, you will find more information and a list of any of the sources that we used.
This podcast is created and produced by Drew Richmond and Brandt Christofferson, editing by me, and the I'm Listening theme music by Drew.
That's me.
That's you.
Brandt, I will talk to you later, my friend.
We'll see you next time.
Yeehaw.
Have a good one, Drew.
Bye, Brandt. Now we need to do a little YouTube thing.
Oh, yeah. Hello, YouTubes.
This is new. We weren't doing nothing over the last 6 months, folks, since season 4 and the kickoff of season 5. We were working on the tubes. The YouTube. Your tubes. Is that how it is? It's
My
you
tubes?
on the YouTube. No, that's gross.
Tied my tubes?
No. Stop that. That's disgusting. We're on YouTube.
Yeah, we've been on YouTube all along. We are now dabbling with posting videos? ?
Yeah, some additional content. So go to YouTube, in the search bar, find I'm_listening podcast. Find it with our logo and make sure you click on it and subscribe. We would love to get subscribers. And then one of the only podcasts in the world that's dedicated to the skill of listening can continue to rise up in its popularity, because we believe that if everybody listened just a little bit more, the world would be a better place. Find us, I'm_listening podcast. Click on it and subscribe.